Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the Detox with Ginger DeClue episode. And if you have not yet listened to part 1, highly recommend. It will make so much more sense and you will get a really good idea of just the wealth of knowledge that Ginger is. And again, I just want to invite you to hop into her masterclass. The link is in the show notes. It is such a good masterclass to just get into if you're curious about how to really detox your body, why it's really important. She goes into so much more detail, so many stories of people that she's worked with that have healed and really have had amazing results with working with her. And I'm so excited for you to listen to part 2. Okay, without further ado, here's part 2. That rhymes. I didn't mean for it to, but cool. It sounds good. Let's go. Whatever it might be. What is the first thing that you are going to do? What is your plan of action in that moment?
So the first thing is going to be just looking at what I'm eating.
Okay.
That's the first thing. What have I been eating for the last 3 to 6 months? Really, honestly. And this is where journaling can be really helpful. And I keep a lot of journals. So you can actually, if you're a journal person, which I am, and I think if you're here, you probably are, you can look back and be like, wow, I was going out a lot, or I wasn't eating that well, I wasn't sleeping that well, right? If all those things were checking out that I was eating right and I was cleansing my system, then I would start looking at my environment. So what are the thoughts that I'm thinking? What are the music I'm listening to? What's the water I'm drinking? What's my, detergent am I using? But it always starts with what I'm putting inside of my body first. And if I was, God forbid, I would start immediately just opening up my pathways, like sitting in a sauna for 2 hours a day,
What does
totally
the sauna
disconnecting.
do? Does the sweating
So,
is
yeah, so the skin is the third kidney. So our kidneys are responsible for removing cellular waste. So we have anywhere from 30 to 100 trillion cells in our body. And all these cells are producing waste. It's totally natural. Everything creates waste. The problem is the kidneys get overburdened and the waste starts to build up in the system from the cells. And so the sweating helps to remove the cellular waste faster than sometimes the kidneys can. So when we sweat, we purge out the toxins, which is why if anyone here has ever been hungover, I have been hungover.
I have, raise your hand.
sometimes I've been hungover where you're sweating and you're not even in a sauna and it's stinks.
Yeah.
It smells like booze, right? You're like, God, it's coming out of your pores, right? You've heard
Yeah.
people say this, ew, it's coming out of your pores. So sweating helps to purge all this toxicity. So that's what I would do if I got sick. Even when I had this little cricked neck, it was okay, we need to do a little fasting, we need to do a little breath work, we need to pray.
Yeah. You need to pray for sure. Yeah. Okay. So really what I'm hearing you say is you would immediately start going within yourself and being okay, how can I immediately make changes with what I'm consuming and then also how I'm detoxing? Actually getting into a protocol right away.
Right away. That would be my first thing. In fact, I would, even before I got a diagnosis, and I know so many people are desperate for a diagnosis. I've been there where you just want to know why.
Yeah.
I would start looking at each symptom and start addressing root cause. And then taking steps to be okay, for instance, common signs of cancer would be, having swollen lymph nodes. So I would say, okay, my lymph nodes are swollen. I need to start working the lymph node, doing self massage, sitting in a sauna, putting that lymph node up to a red light. right? Make sure I'm taking herbs that support the lymph before I'm like, oh my God, we need to like stab into my swollen lymph node and like find
Yeah.
out what's wrong. I would start
Yeah.
trying to like resolve the symptoms before I go to the doctor, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's really good. I'm curious, like, what are some of the things that you have that are not like things that you're going to consume that help with detoxification? So, like you just mentioned red light therapy or red light. Like,
Girl, we could go deep on this. This
okay. I want to geek out on this so hard.
all the biohacking stuff, like that's
Yeah.
fun. Like that's the fun stuff, like the cold plunging and the sauna and the red light sauna and the red light therapy and the ozone and the NAD plus and the glutathione and the coffee enemas. Like there's a lot that you can do. Acupuncture, lymphatic drainage,
The ion foot thing.
ionic foot bath, right? So for me, it's about, again, preparation is so powerful because time is, I don't know about you, Ash, but I feel like time is like flying.
Yeah, it's fine.
How is it like another week has happened?
I don't know.
Like,
I
wow.
don't know. I don't know how we're all like almost like I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
totally
We're
lost.
so far into the year already. It's
Yeah.
like April. It's
Yeah.
about to be April.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like finding where you can fit these things into your routine
Mhm.
and being really graceful with how you allow them to flow into the routine.
Makes sense.
So like there are probably 500 biohacking things you can do, but
Right.
like who has the time?
Right.
Find what works. Like I have protocols that I believe in and I have my students use, but find what works and find where you can realistically keep it into your routine.
Okay, so speaking of routine, this is like so perfect because I want to know what yours is, and I know everyone wants to know. And I know you wake up mad early, and like I know that you're in. Are you in a detox right now, or you
I
still do?
am. I am in a
Oh,
detox right now. It's been my first one in almost 4 years since I had back-to-back pregnancies.
yeah.
I don't know if I recommend that, but my kids are
So
beautiful.
yeah, they're gorgeous. So you're how long is your detox for right now? Is there a set time, or you're just doing it until you feel like you did it?
So the if you haven't detoxed in a while or you really need to go deep, I would say like 12 weeks,
Yeah.
8 to 12 weeks is like a solid full body cleanse. Like you're cleansing the nerves, you're cleansing the liver, the colon, the parasites, right? The whole
Yeah.
body. Um, and so when I'm doing a detox, my routine, and I haven't been perfect, by the way, but I try to get up at 4. I have 3 kids and I homeschool. So if I don't get up early, it's hard to find time in the rest of the day because like I
Yeah.
want to be with my kids.
Yeah.
I also run a business, like I have employees, the whole 9 yards. So if I can get up at 4, I can really have like 4 to 8 to myself. That's 4 hours to do the sauna and an enema and breath work and just feel embodied. And then I can like take on the day starting at like
Yeah.
8 or 9.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Okay, so I
that's
would love to,
powerful.
can you run us through that? Like run us through everything. Like you wake up, what you do, what you drink, what you eat, what you don't, like everything.
Okay. So
When
I
you're
wait.
so this is when Ginger's detoxing, and then we'll learn about when she's not.
So yeah, when I'm detoxing, I cut out all processed foods. I limit alcohol. I try to completely cut alcohol out this year. It's been a challenge. That's my one last vice. But
Yeah.
I don't drink, like, I don't like sugar stuff. I don't like sweets. I cut out all meat. But I wake up at 4 on a perfect day. I get up at 4. I turn my coffee pot on. I turn my sauna on. Usually I do my oral health routine first. So I start by oil pulling, brushing my teeth, like really cleaning my tongue. I do a neti pot. So I really like make sure that my head and mouth are just really cleaned out, especially because the nervous system, it's the spinal column, like the only exit point is really like the nose and the ears. So I know that there's a lot of waste in my nervous system. It's just like all of us have it, a lot of heavy metal. So it's really important that we clean this pathways out and like leave it open. So once
Okay.
I'm done with my mouth, my coffee's usually ready. I sit, lay down, I do a coffee enema. Um, Usually takes like 15-20 minutes. I go into the sauna. Depending on that day, like if I get up at 4 or if it's a little later, I will spend like up to 90 minutes in the sauna.
Nice.
Um,
And you
and
have
I
that
do,
in your house.
I I have I have an Airbnb property which used to be my house, and I have like a two-person sauna there, and I'm about to go get it because I've been using my tent sauna.
Okay.
So it's a little tent, like, and if you have a little studio apartment, you could have one of these little tents. And so I crawl into my little tent and I like do my meditation in there, and I go into theta state, and I really meditate until I hit theta. And I
And
know I hit theta because it's that like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that
you're
like
just floating.
such a good feeling.
Yeah.
I get out of the sauna, I dry brush my body, and then I take a shower, and I usually like scrub my body with baking soda and alcohol mixed, and I scrub my whole system.
What does that do?
Um, that helps to remove all of the junk that I pushed out of my system in the sauna.
Oh,
So really, really important to keep the skin clean,
okay. So baking soda
mixed
and
with alcohol,
alcohol.
like a potato vodka.
Okay.
I learned this from a coach a few years ago.
Okay.
And that helps to just keep the skin
How
really
do you do
clean.
that? Do you like put it in your hand, like the vodka and the baking soda? You just go like that?
I mix it in like a container, and then I
Okay.
use a buff, like a
Okay.
glove.
Cool.
The Koreans, like that's a whole podcast we could do. The Korean spa, like I've learned so much more about like how like scrubbing like the proper way, and they have all these different like sponges and things that they use. That's why Korean women look so good. They're
Wow.
very into detox. I don't know if that's what they call it, but they
Yeah.
stay in the saunas. And then I have a busy life, so in that meantime of like the sauna and all the enemas and stuff, I'm also drinking lemon water, celery juice. Orange juice is a big one for me, especially living in California. We have such great citrus, like
That citrus is unbelievable. I had like an
so
orgasm eating a California orange once. It was
uh
amazing.
so juicy. Like there's so many varieties. And so I drink a lot of orange juice. It's available all the time, like oranges, so they're pretty inexpensive.
So
I
you drink celery juice every day when you're cleansing.
Every day.
Okay.
And that's on medical medium.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
agree with everything he says, but that is a powerful tool.
So when you like he says do the lemon juice first, the lemon water first, then the celery, and then anything else. Do you follow that?
Pretty closely. Yeah, I'll do key lime water too. Key limes aren't as easy to find, but key limes are really excellent. It just helps to warm up the digestion and start pushing the gunk out of your gut, and out of your liver. But celery juice was a huge game changer when I discovered it. I dealt with severe anxiety. Even like I had done a lot of healing, but I still had like hella anxiety. Like I'd be like, I call it catastrophizing. I didn't come up with that, but I don't
Yeah.
even know where I heard that. But I would like think of the worst case scenario, like, oh my God, what if like this happens, and like what if this, and then we lose our house, like crazy. The worst case scenarios would like be playing, and I'm just sitting on the couch, and I was like, man, this is so irritating that I can't like shake this. Because I didn't want to take pharmaceuticals anymore. And I started drinking celery juice, and it was like within a week that
Wow.
I don't no longer had those thoughts.
Wow.
That's how powerful it was for me. And I just felt like I was so much stronger, like nervous system wise. And then when you read the medical medium books, he talks about the celery juice helping to rebuild those nerves.
I was gonna say, is the nervous system rebuildable? I think I knew that it was, but I'm glad you said.
Everything is. All these toxins, they break down the system. Like if you ever had a bike when you were a kid and you left it out in the rain and it was rusty and it like
Yeah.
broke the chain down, right? Like, but you could take some Rust-Oleum and like clean it off. That's like this, that's the analogy for our body.
Love
We're
it.
trying to like
Love
get the rust off,
it. Hmm.
and then can be restored.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Okay. So you drink all of that. Do you drink all of that after the sauna or before the
I
sauna?
will drink it like in throughout
Wow.
that morning. Like I
Okay.
usually will have the lemon juice, celery, another type of juice. It's usually orange because it's just so easy. I have three kids, like I said, and so I am very boring with my juices.
Yeah.
Like they're not like 17 ingredient things. It's like just apple juice. Maybe I might get creative and throw a little ginger in there or
Yeah.
some turmeric, but it's usually just like one type of juice.
Okay.
I'll do like a heavy metal smoothie, but I always add sea moss to that because it also helps to remineralize the body.
Cool.
And then throughout the day, I'll usually have like another juice maybe another smoothie. Sometimes I'll snack on whole fruit like dates,
Mhm.
mangoes, an apple, bananas. Like you can pretty much eat as much as you want when you're detoxing. In fact, you should eat more and drink more than you would think.
Yeah, I mean,
Because go ahead.
no, when I did the 369 detox from medical medium, I was like, wow, this is actually a lot of food. You know, it was a lot of steamed asparagus, steamed zucchini, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the people are surprised how much you can eat when you're eating fruit. So another great author who they talk about the power of fruit is the book is called Mastering Diabetes. I can never remember the name of the author. His first name is Robbie. I always forget his last name, but Mastering Diabetes is another really great book because the authors were both type 1 diabetics,
Mm,
and people are always worried about like the sugar. They're like, isn't that too much sugar? Isn't there's like, where am I getting my protein? Right? Like those are the two scary questions people ask. And it's like, these guys are type 1 diabetics. So that's the kind of diabetes that you can't cure. Like I've seen
mm,
a lot of things healed. The best I could do for type 1, I've helped them lower their insulin use.
yeah.
So believe it or not, fruits actually help the pancreas because the cells don't require as much insulin to utilize the sugar from fruit.
Wow.
So in some cases, the cell doesn't need any insulin to utilize the sugar from that fruit. Whereas if you eat like a cookie, your body is like, okay, I have this cookie sugar in me and I need like a lot of insulin so that the sugar can enter into the cell. What happens with high blood sugar is that the sugars can't enter into the cell and they start just floating around the body, and that's inflammation
Mm,
and diabetes, which is like 70% of Americans have some type of diabetes, pre or full blown type 2. It's very sad.
it really is.
So if you read, like, if you need some more literature,
Yeah. Yeah. My
that
dad
one really.
has diabetes and other close people to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
go ahead.
okay. I want to go back to your schedule. So you finish your routine and throughout the day you're having smoothies and juice. You're not having any food when you're detox. Like you're not.
Deep, yeah, deep into it. I'm not eating any cooked foods. I'm not eating, and I don't just start this like on day one. It's a
Yeah.
preparation to get to this point. It's definitely mental more than anything because it is food, but we think of food as like it has to be cooked, it has to be there. Where's the meat? Like where's the
Yeah.
protein? But all the fruits help to break down the toxicity within the cells, within the body, and help to flush that stuff out. It's very high, like I was saying earlier, it's super high vibrational.
Yeah.
So it helps break down disease as well.
It's just so interesting to me because it's like, well, that just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like eating real fruit, vegetables, like alive food. That just, I mean, duh. It's almost like a duh.
Yeah, if you looked online, it would seem the opposite. You're like, don't eat sugar, like fruit is terrible. I'm like, it's so natural. Like, tell me, I don't know if you guys have mangoes in Jersey yet, because they just came up from Mexico, but like, there's nothing more
Like,
sensual,
oh,
beautiful than like a juicy mango or a peach.
the best.
It's just like so satisfying. Um,
You would only eat organic peaches, right?
like I said, I actually eat non-organic food all the time.
Okay.
I
That's good.
just, like I said, I wash
I
it.
feel like it's so good to hear you say that of all people. You know, you're the detox coach. You're the person that everyone thinks is like doing it perfectly. You know what I mean? So it's nice to hear.
It's yeah. I mean, it's so much. Like it's so much. And
So you don't get in your head when you eat a peach that's not organic where you're like, oh, this pesticides right now are like running through my system.
no, I have really done a lot of work on that because I could definitely go down a rabbit hole and be like the screaming mom, like, don't, how dare you bring that into the house? Like, and sometimes she comes out, like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like my husband is definitely he's definitely more laid back about certain things.
Yeah.
And I choose my battles. And that's what I say to you, like pick your battles wisely.
With myself,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
Really fighting with myself. Like, you shouldn't eat that. That's like those pesticides are gonna live in your body for blah, blah, blah. I'm making
Forever
it worse.
chemicals.
I'm making it worse.
Yeah, I think the mind, the crazy thing with the mind is if you're in a state, like the placebo effect is so real. Like
Yes.
if you put something in your body and you say this is poison, the body responds. Whereas if you
Yeah.
put something in your body and like, this is medicine, even if it's
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
your body's like, yes, we got some medicine. So it's
Oh
really
my God.
important that the frequency in which you're doing things is like feel into your
Yeah.
decisions.
I love that you said that because my friend Allie, who is a psychic, she taught me like before you eat anything, she charges her food with like this pink, the highest vibrational light in the universe. Like she's like, she just charges it up. And she's like, this is the best food I ever ate. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, you have to really change your frequency with things because if you go
Okay,
and you're
I
like,
can do that. I can do that.
I'm
I
eating
can do
this, it's so
that.
bad.
Yeah, just like put some light around your food and tell yourself that this is like so healing and it will be.
And plus, like I'm very much about like I want to live. I said this earlier, like I want to live to the fullest. And when I go to Europe, your girl is having cheese. Like it's
Yes.
happening. And that's a high vibrational experience because it's like, wow, I'm here. Like I was in Florence in the summer.
Yes. Oh my
It's
God.
like
That's
such a
my
vibe.
favorite place. I studied abroad there. It was the best.
It was incredible. Like I can't wait to go back. And I totally 100% enjoyed the cheese. And I wasn't like, oh my God, like this is against detoxing. Now I will
Yeah.
say, like, I really don't eat like certain things. Like I have not had fast food in years. There's some things there's just say no to drugs. Like
Yeah, like
it's
don't put
just
some
a
white
no.
light. Don't put white lighter on your Chick-fil-A because it's just not
No.
gonna do
Yeah,
anything.
I get like angry when I had to do some meditation on that. Like I get actually upset when I see like all these cars outside of Starbucks or outside of Chick-fil-A. I'm like, why?
Do you
Why
drink
are you doing this
coffee?
to yourself?
Do you drink coffee?
No. I occasionally will have an espresso in or a cappuccino, like in Italy, I had it, but coffee just makes me so jittery.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's not
Yeah.
good.
It doesn't promote like it's if you especially if you're an anxious person, it's not really the best.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna make this into two episodes because I still have so much more I want to get into with you.
I don't
Okay.
know how we've already talked for an hour. Like it
I
doesn't feel like it at all.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
It's
Um,
this eclipse portal, girl. Like things are just
so when you're not detoxing, like for dinner, are you having a smoothie too? Or are you like when you are detoxing, are you also
yeah.
having, are you just drinking like,
Yeah. Smoothies, fruits,
got it.
juices.
Okay.
I'll do a hot tea. I might do a hot
Okay.
tea.
Nice.
I might do a warmed up like apple juice that's like warm if I'm
Mm,
feeling bored of the
nice.
cold. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes people get colds. It's like just add some warming stuff to your juice. You can even add like hot peppers to juice, and that will change everything up.
Yep.
Peppers are fruit, remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but
And
when I'm
then,
not detoxing, I'm pretty consistent with my morning routine.
yeah.
It has been an interesting few years because I have had like two babies back to back. So like, what is a morning routine when you
That's
have a
your
newborn?
routine. Yeah. Sure.
Um, but I like to keep my mornings like the same. It's so powerful for the nervous system to kind of do the same thing every
Mhm.
day. There's
Yeah.
no decision making that has to happen. It's just like this is what we're doing.
Yeah. They're
You
safe.
know, it's safe. It's really good for the nervous system. And also like all of the wealth building mastermind people will tell you like wealthy people don't make a lot of decisions. Like they don't sit there and look at the menu when they go to dinner. They just ask the waiter like, "What's the best thing?
Yeah.
Thank you."
Hmm.
And the same thing goes with their routine. They just like have it all laid out and then they can just focus on thinking about the one thing that matters, which is like, how am I going to create more wealth?
Yeah.
um,
Yes. It's so true. So
so
when you're not detoxing, are you eating gluten? Are you eating bread? Like, are you eating meat? Are you eating, what are you eating?
so I basically stay on fruits, juices, and smoothies for the first like 6 hours of my day. And that's what I always recommend people to start with. Like, listen, you want to try this thing out, see how you feel. Start your day on like a lot of juice, smoothies, whole fruits, have a salad for lunch, like a baby arugula salad. We have a ton of soup in our house.
Mhm.
So we eat a lot of soup for dinner. And then I might have like a piece of meat, once or twice a month. I might have a piece of fish a couple times a month, especially my neighbor literally is a deep sea fisherman.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So it's like the freshest fish that he gets from, 400 feet down. So
Wow.
I definitely eat meat and things, but I just don't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
Um, and then we do a lot of vegetable soups. like even chicken soups, all kinds of different stews. And that's really simple. Just cut up some celery, onions, carrots, throw it in a pot, like with some vegetable stock, like you have soup with some lentils. I mean, that's kind of what I like feel the best on. And then seasonally, I'll do a little mini cleanse, like maybe a month, just because like when is the next oil spill, chemical spill? Like,
Yeah.
like, oh no, I ate this food and it was like laced with wood pulp, like
And you go out to dinner as well, right?
I'm very bougie when it
Yes.
comes to dinner. So I'm like super picky where we go out to eat. Like it has to be the best or nothing. So my favorite restaurants, funny enough, are steakhouses because they're usually very high quality. They use butter. They're not using like seed oils and canola
Yeah,
oil. Um, so oddly enough, like I love to go to like Fogo de Chao because they have that huge like vegetable spread.
that's
Like
like,
I love that salad bar. Like give me the salad bar. Um, so like we don't go out a ton just because if I want to go out, like I want to have something
yeah.
really bougie. Or we do Italian, like we'll do Italian because that's also very high quality.
Mhm.
Um, and if you look at Italian food, it's like a lot of vegetables
Yeah.
and very small. If they do meat, it's not like the whole meal. It's like the meat is only a small portion, and they have like antipastas. And you're from Jersey, come
Yeah.
on.
I love your Italian. So, do you eat gluten at all?
I am not a big bread person. Used to be a huge bread fan. There's so much now. That's one where it's like there's so much pesticides in
Yeah.
the flour here that I definitely feel like when I eat bread, I get bloated.
Mhm.
Did not have that experience in Europe. In fact, like everyone says, I lost 15 pounds in like 10 days.
Yeah.
It
I
was
know.
crazy.
Europe is so different. It's so different. It's wild.
So I don't really eat a lot of bread. I like oatmeal. I will
Mhm.
say I do love oatmeal, especially like with breastfeeding. That was like a huge part of my diet. I know people are like oatmeal is so terrible. I'm like, listen, until you have breastfed and you like eat a bowl of oats and your milk just like
Yeah. Expands.
it
Yeah.
just comes in, baby. So
Yeah.
and then I'm not a ice cream person. Like these are things that I had to let go of because they just didn't serve me.
Yeah.
Not an ice cream person, not a junk food person. The only thing I am like, give me a good cocktail.
Yes. Give me a cocktail. I love it.
I'm working towards like I don't like to put labels on things. Like I don't like the vegan label or the carnivore. I hate labels or like sober. It's just I feel like alcohol isn't serving me anymore
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't serve me either, and I still like it every now and then.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like
And then at night, I'm like, I hate alcohol every time, every time.
I don't feel
So
the hate. I just feel like I'm tired and
yeah,
I
I'm
don't.
tired. I feel like crap when I drink too much of it. What do you feed your kids?
Oh, great question. So my firstborn, he's almost 10. He'll be 10 this year. Um, he definitely likes sweets. I co-parent with him with my ex.
Mhm.
So there's that challenge as well. So I completely resonate with you when you're like, my mom brought this home. Like I actually send my son back to Philly like 2 or 3 times a year and he lives with his dad and they don't eat like the way I eat.
Yeah,
Okay. So he likes to eat more sweets and like it's definitely having those conversations with him like, hey, I know you want to have ice cream. I know you want to have the Kinder eggs, like when we go to the store, but like this isn't healthy.
yeah,
So it's definitely a fine line with him where it's like you don't want to create eating disorders around your kids.
sure.
Um, but then I have my 2-year-old and my infant, he's 11 months old, and they were like raised in a bubble. Like it was like me and my husband. And so like my daughter will literally eat tomatoes. Like she'll grab a tomato off the counter and just eat it like an apple. Um, she doesn't like, she wouldn't even know it. Like my sister-in-law made her a cake for her birthday and she cried. Like she didn't know what to do with it. My son was like, can I get a bite? Like, can I have it? So, I mean, honestly, if you're going to be having kids, it's so much easier to like start them
Yeah,
on the fruits. Like we didn't do baby food. We did everything with Gigi and with JR, my baby, was like homemade, like purees,
Yep.
fruit only, like soup, all clean, and they don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference. But
Where my son, he knows.
like we pretty much did that with my son, but he like will not eat a vegetable now. He's
That's
6
funny.
old. And like I'm trying to figure out ways to like get it in.
You have to, everyone has preferences too. Like
Yeah,
my baby, JR, he does not like avocados.
right.
He
My
won't eat
son
them.
loves them. Loves them.
My firstborn, he loved avocado. Like, so even little
Question
babies
for
have
you.
preference.
Is there too much avocado? Like, would you let your kid eat an avocado, half an avocado every day? Is that fine?
When I'm detoxing, I don't like to use a lot of fats, even avocado, but they're a great source of vitamins. It's just like if your liver is overburdened,
Yeah. But I
cutting
mean,
out fats.
for your kids.
Oh, for the kids. Yeah, they're I let them eat everything, honestly. But we eat very like homemade. So
Yeah.
they drink juices, they have smoothies with us. Sometimes I do like mini little detoxes on them.
Right.
Just because I'm like, there's a lot of chemtrails today. Like we should definitely have a smoothie. But and my husband cooks like
Can they
amazing.
have the heavy metal detox smoothies?
Yeah, they can have that. But with them, sometimes I'll just do like blueberries, strawberries, banana, like a little spirulina,
Yes.
flax seeds or pumpkin seeds,
Can
sprouted
the
pumpkin
baby
seeds.
have a spirulina?
He gets everything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any
Well,
contradiction to giving it to babies.
what do you think about the colostrum that's coming out, like the Armra and
Ugh.
all?
I ordered it and I tried it and it tasted so artificial.
Interesting.
I mean, that was my impression. Like, I really was like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. Everyone's talking about, oh, my skin looks so great and
Yeah.
glowing, and I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Like, didn't
Yeah.
feel didn't feel the effects. I tried
Yeah.
it.
Did you try it for like 30 days at least, or like just a
I
couple days?
gave it a week, and it was so gross, and I didn't feel like it tasted so fake.
Yeah.
Like I got the blood orange, and it tasted like a Flintstones vitamin.
Oh, interesting. I just have like the no flavor one, and I don't taste a thing.
Hmm. Maybe I
Yeah.
should try the plain one. But
That's
also with like colostrum, like and collagen, all these things. I years ago, like 2013, 2014, when I was on my what is now called carnivore diet, used to be called Weston A. Price Foundation, which was like eat a lot of meat, low glycemic fruit, raw milk. Like those things temporarily help with inflammation because fats coat inflamed cells. But then
Mhm.
at a certain point, like they can't do anymore, and then you're like back to square one. That's was my experience.
So interesting. That's
Um,
interesting. See, I told y'all Ginger knows a lot. She knows a lot about a lot, a lot about a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm a nerd at heart.
I
I'm a
love
total like nerd.
I love this so much. I have a handful of rapid fire questions that I want to ask.
Okay, I got this.
So yeah, you got this. Like as fast as you can. These questions came in from the Instagram box that I left and for myself. Selfishly, I want to know. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, do you use AirPods
No,
because of the
radiation.
Bluetooth radiation? You like
Yeah.
don't even own a pair.
Yeah, I had to get this headphones just to start doing this podcast because I don't even like to put anything, I don't even dial my phone near my face.
Okay. Oh, do you sleep with your phone near you at
I
night?
do, but I turn the Wi-Fi off.
Okay, you turn the Wi-Fi off in your house
Yeah, at night.
every night. Damn girl.
Most
Okay, cool.
nights. Sometimes I forget, I won't lie.
Best pots and pans.
La Creuset or any kind of enamelware or cast iron,
Okay.
that's the best.
Okay,
Stainless
great.
steel as well. Stainless steel is good.
Okay. What do you think about Caraway? Anything about them?
Caraway?
Haven't heard of them. I'll send you them. I'm curious.
Send it.
What are your thoughts on air fryers?
Oh, they are coated with nonstick. So
Yeah.
we actually just replaced it with they have stainless steel ones now that are more like convection. They work
Okay.
really well, not as fast, I will say.
Okay. Okay. That's
So they're definitely toxic, but there's like a lower level one that has it's made of stainless steel. So
okay.
swap it.
I literally called the air fryer company. My mom bought like she brought it to my house. She's like, I got you an air fryer. I'm like, thank you, but does it have chemicals? So I
It
literally
does. It's that nonstick stuff.
that when I called the company, they said it's not the Teflon, but it's the what did they use? What's the word?
The microwaves.
No, some sort of like, can't think of it right now, like a coating that I can't think of.
All of that stuff, the problem with it is that it disrupts your hormones. That's
Okay.
why, like just to give a little clarity around like pots and pans and all this stuff, it's like all those phthalates
Hmm.
interfere with the production of insulin, your ovaries, your thyroid. So if you're having problems with these organs and these glands, it's like, well, you're probably using hormone disruptors in your
Mm.
home.
Yeah.
So if you can replace those out of your kitchen, it's going to help.
Okay. That's
Uh,
really good to know because that was a question that we had about like what are the common culprits for dysregulating female hormones?
it's the makeup. Like I wear natural makeup. Okay, like listen, I'm allowed to be glamorous.
Yes,
Okay.
you are, baby.
But I swapped. It took me, it took me a good 18 months to swap everything to natural, but there's so many natural brands, but like Maybelline, all the classic makeups that we grew up with,
Oh my.
L'Oreal, right? Like all that stuff is really bad for the hormones.
Mhm.
A lot, and of course women, like we use so much on our bodies and our hair. We're like the prime target, you know,
Yeah.
Bath and Body Works, that kind of stuff is just so bad for you.
Yes. 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 Okay. How about, well, what is your favorite non-toxic makeup brand right now?
Kosas, Kosas,
Mm,
Kosas, so good. The foundation, they have like bronzer, they have
yeah, your
lips,
skin is like a point.
it's so good.
Love it.
Also, Gwen Stefani has the lipstick, the red lips, and it's like it's pretty good. It's pretty
Pretty
like
clean.
non-skid. It's really good.
What is your favorite app for looking up a non-toxic clean products?
EWG is pretty good.
Yeah, I use that.
Um, Honestly though, like I don't think you need an app. Just like it shouldn't have more than three ingredients on it.
Okay.
If you look on the back of something and there's like more than three, like if it's, for instance, sprouted pumpkin seeds and there's salt. So there's only two things, sprouted
Yeah,
pumpkin seeds and
right,
salt,
right.
right? Or like you buy a frozen bag of berries and it's like raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries.
That's it.
Raspberries, like that's what is on the front should be on the back. And if there's like all these other things that you don't know how to read it, then you should probably just say no.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
What about organic natural flavors?
I don't like any natural flavors because you don't know. Organic could still mean it's like synthetic.
So natural flavors, like I feel like they're in literally every,
Everything.
like fucking everything. That fucks with my head. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, natural flavors, they're a preservative. A lot of
Yeah.
times they're like in there to preserve the food. And they are, really mess with the hormones.
Mm.
So, again, this is where that prep comes in because it's not that hard if you're prepared. All
Yeah.
these things come into our life as for convenience. Like
Yeah,
when are
that's
you looking to eat this stuff? Is like shit, I'm on the run. Like, what do I grab? Like,
at the
that's where you
bar
get
and it has natural flavors. Or like, oh, this yogurt, like the yogurt that I buy for the baby, it's all organic, has natural flavors.
we use if I do yogurt, which like sometimes the kids will want a parfait. I
Mhm.
make a really good parfait.
Amazing.
We just use like the Stonyfield, the
That's what
plain.
I used.
There's nothing in that.
There's nothing in that one, but
The Greek.
in the pouches,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't feed them any of
there
that
is.
stuff. Like all that convenience stuff. Honestly, your kids are going to be messy and sticky. like, like my kids are always sticky. Like I'm just gonna be honest, and they come
True.
home from the park and they have because we just are like here's a banana and they met like it's not all
Yeah.
clean. Like pouches are convenient because it's like oh god you don't want to get them all
Yeah. I think that's such a good point.
sticky.
Such a good point. Yeah, that's such a good point.
So
Okay, what's like your best snack for your kids then?
my kids love bananas. They love mangoes. Like we had four mangoes yesterday night.
Hmm.
Like they just were like, can we have more? Can we? And they're so fresh and they're so like
God, I
juicy and
can't wait to get.
delicious. So kids do really well on natural fruit sugar. Like I noticed my daughter, if she has like my husband sneaks stuff in, like he'll sneak in. He thinks it's natural because it's from Sprouts, and that's the thing with my husband. That's funny. Is like he thinks just because it's in that store that there's no added ingredients. So he's like, I got it at Sprouts. What's the problem? And I'm like, babe, if they want it, like I will make them a popsicle. Like we will make popsicles. I will make juice and we will freeze the popsicles, right? So he'll bring stuff like that. And I can see like right away within a half an hour, my daughter is so different. She's 2 and she gets like screaming.
Mhm,
And I'm
mhm.
like, dude, and I said to my husband, do you see her? Do you see the popsicle? Like, can we
Yeah.
not do the popsicles? Right. So we have a good rapport with that, my husband and I. So I give them a lot of just like cut up fruit
That's beautiful.
um
Love
to
that.
snack on.
So good.
But it's
Um,
messy.
when you buy celery, do you ever buy the Costco organic celery?
Um, we have bought the celery from Costco. We get a lot of our produce at the wholesaler or at the like in this season of life, we've been getting a lot of our stuff at the farmers market.
Okay.
It's California living, right? It's so nice. Like there's a beautiful markets like 4 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I have been meaning to get back to the wholesaler and I really try to put everybody on. So listen up. If you haven't heard anything I've said, this is the most important thing. Finding your local wholesaler changes the game because you can get your fruits and vegetables in like bulk.
Mhm.
So just Google local produce wholesaler. I know there's one like LA, there's lots in Jersey, Philly, Miami, Houston, Dallas, uh, they're all across the country.
Okay.
It's basically like where the grocery store buys its produce.
Yeah.
And when you have like in bulk, you're just so much more likely to.
I know. Every time I like go to the store and I buy a shit ton of celery, I'm like, all right, I'm juicing. Like this is happening. Yeah.
So when you buy a box, like you literally buy a box of like 24 pieces of celery
Wow.
when you go to the wholesaler and you're like, okay, like I have to, and
Okay, I have some work to do.
and it might cost anywhere from $10. It might cost up to 30, depending on like it changes day by day,
So
but it's
reasonable.
so much cheaper
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Good to
to buy
know.
your produce like that.
That's a good secret. Best water to drink.
Oh, this is a tough one. Water is so much, there's so much toxicity in the water. Even like I've been drinking this whole time, like this Mountain Valley spring. They even found toxins in this because
Mhm.
the world is toxic. So like you can't get around it. The best is I'd say spring water. If you have a well on your property, like you're doing the most, you're living your best life. But I just installed like a whole home water filtration system. And I would say like all of us should probably look into getting our homes on a filtration or at the very least like the point of contact, so like a reverse osmosis system on the sink,
Yeah.
and then adding minerals back in so that it's more like spring water. You never want to drink purified water that you don't add salts back in.
Mm, that's good to know. That's really good to know. Okay. Two more. Thoughts on chumps, the grass-fed meat sticks, and the free-range turkey sticks. Because those are like my advice sometimes. Like they're my easy go-to. Like I'm starving right now. I'm gonna eat this. It's grass-fed meat.
There's nothing in it though. It's just like
Yeah, it's
it's pretty
pretty,
clean.
it is pretty clean, but it's still processed.
Yeah. I just feel like the keto stuff, it ages us as women. I would rather you jump for some nuts that are sprouted nuts, like sprouted pumpkin seeds, or a juice or a smoothie to snack on.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like meat can feel grounding, but I think it ultimately like it grounds us. It starts to actually put us in the ground.
Whoa.
Like so I get that. It's like I just need to ground down and like chomp on it. Literally, it's called chomps. Like
Um,
let me just chomp on this and feel a little bit more like grounded, but we need to like expand our aura. So I don't really like the whole like meats as a on a regular basis thing.
okay. Cool. Good to know. And then products for most products oh my gosh. Products most important to avoid for kids.
Ooh, the screens.
Yeah.
That's the number one. It's so toxic for their development. I'm not saying that my daughter never goes on the phone, but like it's I put her on like bans where I'm like she's not allowed on the phone at all.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say like all the soap and stuff, like you don't need to be lathering your kids up so much.
Yeah.
Like kids are allowed to be a little I want to say something shocking here. It's okay to be a little dirty.
Yes.
Like we're so obsessive compulsive with like sanitizing everything and like spraying everything with Lysol and hand sanitizing everything. Like we don't use hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
My kids are super healthy and they're very, very rarely sick. Um, and I think it's because they're dirty. Like they get in the dirt, their hands aren't always being like obsessively cleaned. And so I think avoiding overly cleaning your kids is another thing.
Mm,
They don't need as many baths as you think. They're going to be fine. Like
yeah,
obviously you don't want them to be covered in like spit up.
sure.
But I think we bathe our kids way too much too.
Yeah.
And then just avoiding all those pouches and all that shit. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't take much to prep. Like we have a little steamer that we got and it blends and steams their food. And so
Mhm.
everything we would eat when we started to give our two babies food was our dinner that was just
Yep.
blended up and a little watered down. And so they just liked to eat what we eat.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think those are some good tips. It's
Yeah.
hard being a parent, so be nice to yourself too.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself, grace, compassion, everything. Okay. Now you have to share with everyone what is your program, what your program is, and how they can
Oh,
get involved because everyone listening to this is so inspired, I know, and maybe feeling even a little overwhelmed with like knowing where to start, what to do. And you don't have to feel that way because Ginger literally has the program that will change your life, detoxing your body, healing yourself, and
yeah. So my signature program that I've done for the last like 5 years has helped people overcome everything from thyroid disorders, HSV, HPV, cancers, IBS, just feeling icky, feeling like it's time to cleanse, infertility. And so basically, one of the hardest challenges for people was getting everything together and making their own food, especially because I work with a lot of high level individuals. I work with a lot of celebrities. And so it came to me that we should create a done for you version. So it's the same exact program that I've been offering, but now literally I have a, I partnered with an incredible manufacturer. Do you know Erewhon, Ash? You've come out to LA. Uh-oh.
sorry, I was muted. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Everyone's literally obsessed with Erewhon.
So one of my former students actually, her CMOS company, Organically Kismet, she makes the CMOS for Erewhon, like the viral CMOS. We were like, oh my God, this is $40 CMOS from Erewhon. So she was a student like years ago. And this is the power of community. This is the power of like being in containers, because the reason that I even knew to have her, to contact her was like she was a student of mine. So I was like, hey, like I want to do this done for you detox. She ships her CMOS nationwide as well.
Mm.
And so we just came together and decided that we were going to like partner and do the done for you detox, where it's like everyone's getting the coaching and the coursework and the food nationwide. So it's been a really amazing, expansive experience over the last, we've been working on it for the last 3 months, or 4 months, geez. And we're going to be launching that in the next few weeks. So I'm very excited to be bringing the done for you detox. So it's like pretty much fail proof.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to do this. Like, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
It's out of the comfort zone for sure.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
this is,
honestly, it's genius. I've never heard anybody doing this. It's genius. Like, she's not just doing it half-assed. Like, this is really, truly like being brought together by like such a world-class team that it's really a no-brainer.
yeah, this is like Sita, who started the company Organically Kismet, and they partnered with Erewhon. That's a huge feat.
Yeah.
It's really like your network is your net worth. And I have had this idea for 2 years, 2.5 years. And it was just like I kept having meetings about it with people. And it just wasn't a right fit. Like I don't put my name on everything because I'm just like so dedicated to creating like the best experience, because I want my students to get the outcomes. Like they want to get healing. So I'm going to give that to you.
Yeah.
And so it took a while, but when I reached out to her, it was just like everything was perfectly aligned. Like, and so now we have the done for you detox, which is going to change so many lives.
So many lives. I'm so excited for you, for everyone that gets involved, and for you listening. If you feel called to it, I am also affiliating for Ginger's program and for the Done for You Detox because I believe in it that much. I'm going to be going through it myself, and I'm just excited to like go on this journey together and as a community and like really yeah, just like holding each other up through the whole process is like you said, a huge part of it. So
It's so big, like having the community, having the nurses, especially some people are dealing with more serious illness, and it just gives
yeah,
that peace of mind that we have that kind of staff. Like I really have just put my whole heart and soul into
yeah,
this program and this business, and taking it to this next level feels, it's definitely, like I said, out of my comfort zone, but it's what is required. Like you can't stay the same. You have to constantly be, providing something better for the world.
so true. It's so powerful. I really admire you for doing that and like getting out of your comfort zone in that way too, because it is what the world needs. Like this is the next level. Next level you is like your most vital, optimal, fucking badass self. Like for me personally, yeah, I'm not going, like, luckily, I'm not going through a health crisis to want to detox. And so you don't have to be either. You know, you might have something going on that you want support with. Like we all have things that we need support with, but I don't want to wait until I need it. I want to do it and be proactive.
Yes, 100%. And that's where it's like also learning how to do this seasonally, and learning how to just stay clean,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be calling me. And I get frustrated. Like I get students who, potential students who are like, I'm sick, I'm in the hospital. I'm like, you've been messaging me for 2 years. Like I can't help you as easily from the hospital, babe.
Yeah.
So don't let those little symptoms build up of like, oh, you have brain fog, oh, you're fatigued. Like all those things are your body's way of communicating with you.
Mhm.
Your body talks to you every day.
Yeah.
And if the body is saying like there's something wrong, like don't mask it with more coffee, more caffeine, more whatever. Just
Or
address
skincare.
it.
Like I'm starting to break out in ways that I haven't in such a long time. And I'm like, my body's telling me something.
Yeah. So I'm grateful to have, met you, and
So
to have you doing this, the done for you. And I'm so excited about this like community that's going to come together around it. Um, and I really feel like if anyone remembers Jenny Craig from the 90s, I feel like this is going to be like a revolution, the way that Jenny Craig was in the 90s. But this is like actually nutritious and actually healthy for you, where Jenny Craig was like all processed. This is natural, um,
feeling.
high quality, juices and smoothies and so forth.
What are you manifesting right now? This is Badass Manifester podcast. So, like, what are you manifesting?
Um, ooh, I'm
Declare.
manifesting generational blessings,
Hmm.
in terms of, this next level with the business and the done for you. I feel like takes me into the stratosphere with like the likes of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, and really blesses like 21 generations to come, and
Hmm.
it allows me just so much peace is what I'm manifesting, like so much peace that I can just be like this amazing creator and facilitator,
Hmm.
because the more resources I feel I have, the easier it is for me to stay into that zone of like healing myself and others.
Yes. That is so powerful. So
So
beautiful.
yeah, I think we're doing it. It's the outside of your comfort zone thing is really like when you ask for the manifestation, like what do you have to give up?
Hmm.
It's like, well, I have to give up some habits, and I have to, embody other habits. Like it was tough to get up at 4.
Yeah.
Like JR was still getting up. He still does sometimes wake up in the middle of the night. So I worked on that over the first part of the year, and
Wow.
it's the grace when you ask for the level up.
Hmm. So powerful. You're amazing. You're such a bright light. You're radiating so, so beautifully out into the world. I'm so grateful to know you. And yeah, please get into Ginger's world. Where can everyone find you on the socials?
Oh, yeah. So Instagram, it's Detox with Ginger DeClue, and then I just pulled up my Instagram, and then I also have TikTok, Detox by DeClue on TikTok. I don't know if there'll be like show notes, but there'll
Yeah,
be
there
like
will.
yeah, yeah. So I'll give a link to watch my masterclass, which
Yeah.
Secrets of Healing, Secret
Oh
Keys to
yeah.
Healing.
There's going to be a link in the show notes for sure so that
Yeah.
you can get in her masterclass, Secrets to Healing. It is amazing. She took me through it personally. It's so, so good. And yeah, I'm excited for you all to get in that and just to learn a little bit, even way more about your secrets to healing. So
Thanks
thank
so much again for having me on. And I hope that
you.
this was enlightening, and even my masterclass, like if you decide to work with me or not, like I teach a lot inside of that masterclass. So come with your notebook because you'll learn a lot about the body.
Yes. So hit the link in the show notes. Go follow Ginger. If you're interested in her program, you can also DM me healing and I'll send you some messages, or you can just DM her.
Yeah.
She's got the
Thanks,
goods.
guys. I appreciate you,
Yes.
Ash.
Woo. We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fan. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.